Now, Roman Reigns' promo skills, I can understand, are very, very far in between when it comes to great promos he cuts. Like, I can't recall the last time he did a great promo other than last year. There was the week after Fastlane. There was a week after Seth Rollins versus Daniel Bryan happened, where he issued a threat to everyone who gets in his way. Like, that was a good promo in my opinion. It was straightforward. It was logical. Something WWE doesn't like to do. And yeah, I can get why people hate Roman Reigns for his promo skills, but I don't really think it's his fault. Like, there were at times he did a good job, but it seemed more like he was better as the silent type than it was the talking type. Like, maybe a few words here or there, like maybe like a few times he would speak. Like, he's not Brock Lesnar when it comes to the mic, where Brock Lesnar I consider is very underrated when it comes to the microphone. But I'm like, I can get the voice part, but that's beside the point. But Roman Reigns, yeah, I I highly think Roman Reigns can do great on the mic if he was given the right material instead of all this cartoonish fairy tale stuff that they gave him earlier this year, like suffering succotash. Like, oh my god! And at the time, I was on this big conspiracy character on Bleacher Report going around and saying that Vince McMahon is intentionally sabotaging Reigns because he's jealous of Triple H doing better than him, and since he considers every guy in NXT, please know NXT, the same guys that have Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville at the time, Kevin Owens, as overrated. Yeah, there was a report that said that, but that kind of gets, and I actually started believing my conspiracy theories at times. Like, I actually did think Vince McMahon hated NXT because it wasn't his creation, it was someone else's creation, and now that guy's getting more praise than him, so Vince is getting politically jealous about it. So yeah, let's screw that over. So let's screw up Reigns and have the ammunition you need. But I digress. But like Roman Reigns, like he's good at quiet charisma. He's good at the silent. He's the strong silent type. He just comes across that. Like, yeah, you can get a few words here or there, like the segment with Rowdy Piper back in 2014 or 13, where 2014, where Roman Reigns told Rowdy Piper saying, "I'm gonna beat CM Punk tonight, and if you ever touch me again, I will break your old ass in half." And like I was like, "Oh god, that was awesome!" Like, yes, that's the Roman Reigns I want to see. Like, this is totally Roman Reigns. Like, the strong silent type, and when he speaks, it's just all threatening and dark and menacing. Like, yes, that's him. But if I was to get, but Roman Reigns does well with his facial expressions when he wants to convey his message instead of speaking. And there's only one actor that comes to mind for my generation at least. And this might be an unpopular choice, but Hayden Christensen from episodes 2 and 3 of Star Wars. Like, I kind of always had this because every time Roman Reigns looked intimidating, I keep thinking Hayden Christensen when in episode 2 and 3 he would sell the emotion with his facial expressions until George Lucas's writing kind of wrecked the momentum they were on because they felt like having you told something that you already can clearly tell from facial expressions is not enough. But yeah, like that's the best comparison I can make when it comes to selling charisma. Like Roman Reigns is very good at that. And especially when it comes to how he's able to sell the story without any dialogue whatsoever or exposition, and I'll get to the exposition part in a moment. But like at Survivor Series when he lost the title after finally gaining it after 7 months working so hard to win the fans over and only to get further hatred, just because you're not Daniel Bryan or anyone from the indie scenes, therefore you have to be hated, and because you were chosen by corporate. And the last guy corporate chose was look what happened to him. Shame. Like Roman Reigns is in tears, he's breaking down, And like that conveys so much to me. Like I'm feeling sorry for him, not just because of that, but because these fans are being so viciously cruel to a guy that, okay, let's be honest. It's the same question I always ask when people criticize Hayden Christensen. If you were in Hayden Christensen's spot or Roman Reigns' spot and you were told, hey, you're going to get this big push, hey, you're going to be in Star Wars, would you really turn down that offer even if you were a somewhat a above average actor? Yet this is Star Wars, then that's like for the legends, and yet George Lucas says, I see something in you, or Vince McMahon says, I see something in you. Like, could you really turn down such an offer and the opportunity to do that? I'm waiting. Could you really turn it down? I wouldn't think so. But but yeah, like Roman Reigns has a lot of problems with his microphone, and then it came the worst promo I ever saw that came from Roman Reigns, and I never blamed him for that promo because it wasn't his fault. He doesn't have a say like John Cena obviously has, or Hulk Hogan, where he's allowed to say whatever he wants and gets away with it because, well, he's the face that runs the place. No, I'm not letting that promo stuff go when he says I'm the face that runs the place. It comes off as arrogant, even though he's a good guy. But Roman Reigns was basically told by Vince McMahon, okay, treat the audience like they're incredibly dumb. Okay? Treat the audience like they're incredibly dumb. Like, say everything that's been going on for the past few months because they're that dumb, because they don't know what's going on with you and Bray Wyatt. So obviously, we need to tell them what's been going on for these past few months between you guys. And here's my response was, okay, one, you could just show a video. Two, we're not that dumb, Vince. We have the internet. Three, did I mention, Vince, you're incompetently senile? Okay. But like that was honestly the worst promo since Roman Reigns was pretty much told to treat the audience like incompetent morons, whereas Roman Reigns, okay, I can ignore the suffering succotash, the giant story, Jack and the Beanstalk, because yeah, that's Vince writing. That's Vince writing right there. And like Vince McMahon has become the George Lucas of wrestling. Like he started out so great and whatnot and worked with other people, but when it started complacency happened, then yeah. But Roman Reigns deserves to have new material be handed to him in order to work well with a promo. Like he just does better with the strong silent type, and I can tell he can do a good promo. He can do a good promo. You've seen him tell good promos before, like the night like about a few weeks before Battleground, Roman Reigns went ahead and joined in the audience saying, "When Roman Reigns is in the house, you're damn right Cena sucks." And like, yes, that's Roman Reigns. That's him. Or the night after Royal Rumble this year, where Roman Reigns had these series of interviews with Michael Cole, Byron Saxton, and Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. That was Roman Reigns. That's the material that he should be given more and more. Allowed to be himself, allowed to express his feelings. And it seems like he can only do that through a heel turn since, well, his interviews during the early months of 2015 were, yeah, it just suited him to be a heel, so then he could tell the audience off, and he can get away with it pretty much. But yeah, that's how I view how this situation should go down. Roman Reigns can be very decent on the mic. Like I'm not gonna say he's like at the level of John Cena and Hulk Hogan where you could turn any bad material good or trick you into believing what he says, but Roman Reigns needs to be given more material that doesn't involve cartoons and whatnot or fairy tales. He needs to be given some serious promos to showcase his abilities and allow him to tell a story through his facial expressions, or just let him be himself, like give him bullet points like they do in NXT. Their system of promo skills. Like I really think that if they do that, then Roman Reigns is going to be set like to get more cheers than hate. And all that. Well, everyone, this was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate, and stay tuned for more.